People who had abstinence only sex education. What was the most outrageous or untrue thing you were told?
Don't shower while on your period, you will stop bleeding and then you will have gyno problems. Girls that wear thongs are going to damage their genitals.
We had a teacher unwrap a piece of candy and pass it around the room. The last person was asked if they would eat the candy after everyone had touched it. This was meant to symbolize purity or some beep, but was foiled when my friend ate the candy. LMAO edit, just to answer a few extra questions. I believe it was a Jolly Rancher, which made it even funnier. This was definitely well before COVID. I don't believe he got in trouble, but the teacher definitely had to play it off with a, well, that's not the point, but, answer.
Condoms have microscopic holes and don't actually prevent pregnancy and definitely will not stop you from getting AIDS because the virus is so small it will magically go through the latex.
When your penis touches a girl's private parts, she gets pregnant.
We were told that hickeys kill you because they cause your veins to burst.
That you only have a finite amount of love to give, and if you give it away to people before you're married, you won't have any left for your partner.
I was in an all-girls abstinence class in middle school and they said you will get pregnant if you have sex before marriage. They never mentioned protection. Edit, 9th grade year, I took another sexual education class and the class was once again only speaking about abstinence and how you will get pregnant if you decide not to wait. Unlike in middle school, they briefly spoke only about condoms and the teacher basically stated they don't work. I'm a senior RN and throughout high school, I've seen many pregnant girls. Schools need to understand that only speaking about abstinence is not the approach to take. People aren't going to wait until marriage, so instead of scaring young folks, just teach them how to be safe.
Actual quote from my 9th grade health class: if you have sex, chances are you won't get HIV. But chances are you will.
The school loved to teach, sex will always result in pregnancy. And with abortion being the unforgivable sin, you're damned if you get pregnant. Same if you terminate it. And a load of other sh*t. They changed things after a kid whose folks knew the teacher asked *, if it happens every time, why don't you have one? Apparently she had been having fertility issues for a while. Edit, yes, the teacher lost her cool and sent him to the office. We never got told anything aside from they were pulling the class. I mean, let's be real, it was a small town about 15 years ago at a religious school. Word got out and they had to do damage control. And yes, this kid was ruthless when he wanted to be.
We were shown a video where a lady said she could tell if a girl was a virgin just by looking into her eyes. The implication was that premarital sex causes your spirit to die so that you become just a shell with nothing to offer. Edit to add, I'm sure you can guess that she didn't say the same applied for the boys, as if teenage girls are the only ones to blame for anyone having premarital sex.
Watching porn would make you want sex so much that you wouldn't be able to control yourself.
I think the kids who asked were just trying to be funny and get a rise out of the teacher, older lady who was a PE and volleyball coach, but in any case they asked where AIDS comes from and how to avoid it. And this lady, in the year of our Lord 2010, responds, AIDS is caused by homosexuals. That's it.
The instructor gave all the boys in the class chewing gum and let them chew on it for a few minutes. Then she asked them if any of them wanted to share. Of course none did. Then she asked if they didn't want to share gum, why would they want to share sex partners? This was in a co-ed class, so all the girls in the class got to see too.
I can't think of anything crazy, but I think it's because we generally weren't told much at all. They tried to scare us, condoms aren't effective, chances are super high you'll get an STD or get pregnant, watch this horrific slideshow of worst case scenario STDs and then watch this video of crying women who regret the abortion they got after getting pregnant from their first sexual encounter. But most topics were just vaguely circled. Some super uncomfortable, young youth pastor came and educated us, but he would only refer to genitalia as the underwear zone. We were able to write questions on a slip of paper to be answered anonymously, but he only read about 10% of them and deemed the rest inappropriate. Shocker, we had a lot of teenage pregnancies.
I was taught in school that self-pleasure was also a sin. So as a young girl discovering her body, every time I masturbated, I'd cry because I thought I was going to hell. I don't know how many times I prayed to God asking for forgiveness.
That every time I, a girl, had sex I was giving away a part of my soul. So each sex partner whittled away bits of my soul. If I had sex before marriage, my God-given husband would only get a tiny scrap instead of a full half, and thus wouldn't be able to love me as much as he would if I'd waited. Honestly, it's pretty confusing. This was taught in my Christian private school.
Girls and boys had to go to different rooms during sex. The girls were told that abstinence is the best option because sex is painful. The boys weren't told that. I understand that sex can be painful for some people, but pretending sex isn't a source of pleasure at all for women is flat out wrong and depressing.
Condoms will fail close to 100% of the time. Sex before marriage makes you a whore. If you sleep with someone before you're married, you're cheating on your future husband or wife, and no one will love a cheater. You're setting yourself up for being lonely and unlovable. Good old Catholic sex ed. Thankfully that was in CCD and not school.
I quote, "If you have sex, you will get pregnant, and you will die."
That condoms are a conspiracy to limit the numbers of white people. 'Cause Negroes make 8 babies apiece, starting from the age of 12. So they foist birth control on us, 'cause we will be dumb enough to actually use it, as a nefarious plot to outbreed us. The Latinos are in on it too.
I was given a diagram of the female anatomy in which the clitoris had been erased, as in someone went into MS Paint and whited it out on a line drawing of the exterior of the vulva. The urethra, vagina, labia, anus were labeled, and then at the top of the labia, it was whited out.
Kissing gets you pregnant.
The used pair of shoes analogy. Maybe if some people would just wash their damn feet and wear socks, the shoes wouldn't get dirty.
I remember seeing some infographic showing a pyramid of people saying that having sex with someone is like having sex with all their partners, and their partners' partners, and so on and so forth. And that every additional partner increases the risk of cancer by some percentage. Edit, since this kinda blew up, it has become evident that it was probably a poster about HPV, and so it's not all that outrageous at all, I suppose. I just remembered seeing it as a teenager and thinking, damn, I've only been with 2 girls, but I've been with a lot of dudes between them.
Someone argued that having sex before marriage is like cheating on your future wife because you're supposed to save it for her LMAO.
This woman once compared a teenage girl who's had premarital sex as chewed up bubble gum. She then switched the comparison to a pair of worn-out shoes. Beep you not.
Being raised in a Catholic country, we actually had religion class in high school, 2 hours per week. In that class, the teacher, sometimes a priest, sometimes a highly devout teacher, would touch on sex. Here is one thing I heard repeatedly. How will your spouse feel about your love, if you loved so many people before? Will it be as meaningful? It cheapens your love for your spouse. Sometimes they would talk about molecular structure of a condom and HIV virus. Don't have sex even with a condom. The microscopic holes in rubber are 20 to 100 times larger than HIV virus, so you can still get it.
Barbie. My middle school was predominantly LDS. Our sex education didn't come from a teacher or a health professional. It was one of my LDS classmates' stay-at-home mom who taught us about sex. Instead, she told us about Barbie. See, all of us 12-year-old girls in class needed to idolize Barbie. Ken, Barbie's husband. Ken never sees Barbie gain weight after she gave birth to Kelly and Tommy. Ken never sees Barbie without her hair done. Ken never sees Barbie without makeup on. Barbie is the perfect wife we should all strive to be. She also told us not to trust girls who use tampons.
If you are willing to make out with someone, you'll end up having sex with them because you passed the point of no return on the mountain climb to sex.
Virginity is the best gift a wife can give her husband.
May your day be filled with joy and happiness. And please remember to like, share, and subscribe for more quality content every day.